Welcome to this exercise on lists. So in this exercise, we have a lemonade business, and we're going to keep track of our best and worst days and our combined total for those 2 days. So in the back here, we have 3 lists: the sales of week 1, the sales of week 2, and then a list called sales, which is just empty. So here's the exercise. We sell lemonade over 2 weeks. The lists show us the number of lemonades sold per week. Profit for each lemonade sold is $1.50. We're going to add another day of sales to week 2 by capturing a number as an input. Then we're going to combine the 2 lists into a list called sales. Calculate and print how much we've earned on the best day, on the worst day, and then separately and in total. So a total of 3 prints. All right, so give that a shot. I'll reduce the slide over here and you can look at it anytime you want while you're working. So have a crack at that and I'll be back shortly. All right, how did that go? I'm sure it went awesomely. Okay, so let's look at what we need to do. The first thing we need to do is get that new day of input. So let's call that data new day, and that gets input. And let's ask the user for some input. We'll say enter number lemonades for new day. So here we'll capture some number in this new day variable. So then let's append that to the week 2 sales. So that's sales week 2. Append. And when we capture the new day from an input, it comes in as a string. Remember, all input is captured as strings. So we need to convert this into a number. So let's convert it into an integer. We could convert it into a float as well, but since they're going to be whole numbers, it doesn't make much sense. So let's just make it an integer. There we go. We've made new day into an integer and we've appended it to sales. That's great. So the next thing we're going to do now is combine the 2 lists. And we're going to do that in 2 different ways, and I'll show you first this one. We're going to use the extend method first. So sales is that empty list we have. So we're going to extend that with sales of week 1 first. Now it would be nice if we could extend it immediately with week 2, but for some reason that doesn't work, and that's a bit annoying. So we have to do the same thing again. So we'll copy this because we're lazy and don't want to make mistakes, and all we have to change is week 2. So now we've extended it twice. So that's one way of doing it, by using the extend method. Another way to do it is to simply add the lists. So sales gets sales week 1 plus sales week 2. Now I see an obvious benefit to this. We could add sales week 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And if we did that with the extend method, we would have 10 rows. There are some other methods in Python, of course, but we haven't talked about those, so I'm not going to cheat and use those here. So I actually kind of prefer this one, but let's comment that out for now, and I'll show you later that it works. All right, so what's the next step? Now we're going to sort that combined list, the sales list. And the reason we want to sort it, so sales sort, is so that the first number will be the lowest number, and we're going to grab that for the worst day. And then the last number in the list is going to be the highest number, so that's the best day. So we're going to grab that as well. So that's the next step. So we're going to grab the numbers for first day profit, and that gets sales, and then we're going to slice. So we'll get the first position, which is 0, right? We're going to multiply that by 1.5, which is $1.50 per lemonade sold. Okay, and then we're going to copy this and change that to best. And in this case, we're going to use the last position in the list. So that's -1, remember? And then we're going to do some prints. So we'll print an F string, and we'll say worst day profit, add a $sign. So the worst day prof, close that curly bracket, and we'll copy this print statement. And then we'll get the best day. Change that to best day. Then for our last print, which is our combined days, so the best day and the worst day, so we'll call that combined profit. So that's the worst day profit plus best day prof. There we go. So this should be our code. Let's give it a shot and run it and see what happens. So we get a text box. I'm going to enter 10 lemonades for that extra day. And here's our result. Worst day profit, best day profit, and combined profit. So now I'm going to show you this thing that we tried up here. So I'm going to uncomment that and comment these 2 instead. So they are now no longer active. So let's try that code. Again, we'll enter 10 and we get the same result. So that's awesome. That's 2 different ways of using it. I actually like this plus version better because you can extend with more. So now I'm going to show you one more thing. So here, when we created these worst day and best day with the sales and the slicing of the list, we can actually do that in a different way. Instead of using the slicing, we can say min. So that's the minimum value of sales, and we don't need the slicing then. And then we can say max for this, which is the maximum value. And if we do that, we of course don't need to sort the list, which is useful. So let's try and run that. Again, I get a pop-up box, enter 10, and we get the same result again. So that's fantastic, right? So now we've solved all our problems for our lemonade business, and we can just continue to make money. And you are doing so well. And I'll see you in the next tutorial.